watching this in the spring of 2020, you're probably sick and tired of hearing the word quarantine. But did you know that the city of Boston has a history of using the Boston Harbor Islands as a quarantine space for the sick and poor?
One of these such islands is Rainsford Island in the Boston Harbor. Now uninhabited, the island itself has a complicated and dark history. Native Americans first used the land to farm and graze animals. In 1636, Rainsford's namesake, Edward Rainsford, settled on the land. But from the years 1737 to 1925, Rainsford Island became the premier destination for Boston to deposit sick, suffering, and underserved populations out of sight and out of mind. Rainsford served as everything from a quarantine holding site to a smallpox hospital to a reform school for boys, and was infamous for its cruelty to the poor and abysmal standard of hygiene and care. If you were to visit the island today, you would find that not much remains from its long and storied history. However, underneath the surface there remains a few relics of the past if you know what to look for.
I was fortunate enough to accompany historians Bill McEvoy and Robin Ray to the island a few years ago. The two of them recently released their co-authored book on Rainsford, which is, to date, the most exhaustive research that's been done on the island.
There is an unmarked cemetery on the island where the many Rainsford dead were buried with little organization or care for the remains. Tragically forgotten to history, Bill and Robin hope to erect a monument to those buried in the cemetery sometime in the near future.
But how and when did all the suffering come to an end? Did the island just wither away slowly as the years progressed? Fortunately, there were some people on the mainland who noticed Rainsford's cruelty and actively worked to put a stop to it. One of these such people was Alice North Lincoln. She's buried here on Snowdrop Path.
While researching Rainsford's dead, Bill McEvoy found that in 1894, complaints about the island from Lincoln prompted a whopping 58 days of hearings before the Boston City Council. Alice was a woman on a mission, and that mission was to close the hospital on Rainsford Island once and for all. To quote Robin Ray on the issue, the testimony was hair-raising. Lincoln and other visitors had discovered on Rainsford dozens of ailing women, some with infants, many elderly, packed into an old hospital building. The food was revolting, and there was never enough milk for the infants, though the superintendent's dogs got a quart a day. The attic was drafty and distant from any lavatory, yet beds were crammed under rafters with just inches of headroom. Despite being mocked by the superintendent of Rainsford during the hearings, Alice Lincoln's testimony was enough to close the hospital on the island and move its patients elsewhere.
Long before Rainsford Island, Alice Lincoln had made a habit out of philanthropy. Much of her efforts were focused on tenement housing. She and a friend purchased a 27-unit tenement house that was notorious for its dilapidation. Despite conducting basic maintenance and making sure that the apartments were safe to inhabit, she and her friend managed to turn a profit on the units. Hi, I'm Corinne Elicone from Mount Auburn Cemetery. Thanks for watching our video. We're looking to put out more virtual content in the time of COVID-19 so that you can continue to learn about the cemetery along with us from the safety of your home. Thanks for watching, and be well.